What is the Great Depression? And I've heard some of you guys say stuff like we might even be heading for another reincarnation of this Great Depression. There's so many questions I have, guys, but look, if you guys are familiar with me on this channel, I go by the name of JayFlex, and you all know that I've got a very, very curious mind. Me being a Gen Zer born in the 2000s, I love to just discover things that happen way before my time and just learn more. You know, I'm not just your typical Gen Zer that's growing up with phones and iPhone 16, 17s or whatever there is now, and iPads and TikTok, you know, and just scrolling through my brain numbing stuff and, you know, not knowing the difference between X and Y. You know, I'm actually trying to, you know, take time out of my day to check some of these things out, and I've decided to document that journey for you guys to watch that process in real time. I've checked out some classic musicians from like anywhere from before the 1980s to 1940s for the very first time in the last month. I've seen some stuff to do with olden day sitcoms. Like I'm currently doing 4 episodes of Married with Children on my Patreon, so if you guys don't get exclusive bonus content to that, then, you know, soft plug. I've also checked out some comedians and some contextual things going on way before I was born, and some historical things. Look, if you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that journey where I'm going back in time especially. And what a journey it's been, guys. But today we're going to be checking out 5-minute history lesson on the Great Depression. It's my first time checking out the plain bagel, so I don't know how accurate this video is going to be, but of course I'm liking the video. Go check out the guy's original video. It's got 3.2 million views as well, so it looks like this one might be juicy. But guys, look, with that being said, smash the like button as well. Let me know what other videos you want me to check out, so I know you guys want to see more, guys. But I know you said, let's get straight into this video. Let's go.
In the world of finance, we are often quick to forget the tragedies of the past, yet valuable lessons are to be had by exploring their causes and effects.
Right.
After all, in a world of ever-changing rules, products, and services, history is the one constant that can guide us through the ambiguity. So let's take a 5-minute history lesson on today's plain bagel.
You know what they say, even in the Bible, they say there's nothing new under the sun. History tends to repeat itself. I mean, humans, you know, we're creatures of habit. And, you know, a lot of these things that are going on now, I guess you guys be telling me is just like, again, a lot of this stuff is just more modern day version of what we've already seen. So yeah, what he's saying there is kind of, you know, a lot of what I've heard already. But let's go, I'm excited.
So let's take a 5-minute history lesson on today's plain bagel.
5 minutes.
The year is 1918, and after 4 years of conflict, the First World War is finally over. America has emerged as one of the victors, and is about to enter a period of economic prosperity and cultural change known as the Roaring Twenties. Things start off pretty strongly, as the post-war economy is seeing a boost. Troops are back from the war, delayed projects are starting up again, and hey, more women are entering the workforce, meaning that more people have a salary to spend, and companies are looking for a piece of the money pie. So in 1920, we see our first radio advertisement, and it seems to be working. Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric washing machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey, since things are looking pretty good, the banks are giving out loans to everybody, meaning that even more people can buy the latest and greatest gadgets.
Guys, can I just say, a lot of what he's saying so far, I recently did a reaction to life during the 1930s. You know, so a bit of that was covered in it, and there seems to be overlap here. So in terms of me getting some general information like new technologies, people coming back from World War I, and, you know, people getting back in the economy, women getting in the workforce, it's seeming to be in alignment with what I've heard so far. So it seems to be quite accurate from what I've heard. I don't know, I'm just gauging from the things I've heard. But I like what I'm hearing so far. This is interesting. All of this leading towards the Great Depression. Let's continue.
Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric washing machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey, since things are looking pretty good, the banks are giving out loans to everybody, meaning that even more people can buy the latest and greatest gadgets. Before you know it, everyone's getting a car too, Henry Ford's T model to be exact, and with it, life is becoming a lot easier. Now you can do the Charleston across town and be home for your evening smoke. All of this is making companies very rich, and the average American is making good money themselves. In fact, people are starting to look for things to do with their newfound wealth. Buy another laundry machine? Nah. A new car? Don't need it. Oh, wait, what about investing? Yeah, that's it. After all, why be rich when you can be more rich? So the stock market becomes a pretty popular practice. And with so many people buying, investors are finding it very easy to make money on stocks. Soon enough, everyone thinks they're 1920s Warren Buffett. And I mean everybody. Cooks, shoe shines, taxi drivers, you name it, everyone is trading like a Wall Street tycoon, pouring their life savings into whatever security is hot that day. In fact, there's so much money to be made, people are taking out loans to invest even more, and banks are happily collecting the interest. By the way, those same...
I can't believe how much of a consensus there was, and like how normal it was to be investing, and just how common it was. Okay, so... Interesting
like a Wall Street tycoon, pouring their life savings into whatever security is hot that day. In fact, there's so much money to be made, people are taking out loans to invest even more, and banks are happily collecting the interest. By the way, those same banks are looking to invest more money too, and soon enough they begin borrowing money from customer bank accounts to buy stocks. But since things are looking up, no one's noticing, and overall things are going pretty well in America, financially anyway, and as we experience flapper culture, prohibition, and the rise of jazz music, people are making good money on the markets. By 1929, America's total wealth has doubled, and investments are up 218% since 1922. In fact, stocks are rising so fast, companies are having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price. Wait, that's not good. And hold on, production actually seems...
Wait, okay, it seems like we're just having... Okay, this is... Okay. I literally just said nothing just then. I was gonna say, it seems like there's actually all the dominoes being put into place here. Okay.
Investments are up 218% since 1922. In fact, stocks are rising so fast, companies are having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price. Wait, that's not good. And hold on, production actually seems to be slowing down. Ooh. Henry's not making as many T models, and people aren't buying as many things. Ooh. It looks like companies may have overestimated their growth, and now wages are falling. And all that easy to access debt? Well, people have taken out quite a bit, and interest rates are starting to rise. But wait a minute, the stock market is still up. That doesn't seem right. Even though the economy is looking worse for wear under the hood, investors are more or less ignoring these problems and buying and selling as if everything were exceptional.
Wow.
Sure, we see a few shakeups and close calls.
No wonder, okay, because the reason why the stock market hasn't corrected yet is because freaking people are still have value, or they still believe that, you know, they're under some illusion that the economy is going to go up and all of this stuff is going great. When in reality, what's actually going on is not the case. Okay, interesting.
Us ignoring these problems and buying and selling as if everything were exceptional. Sure, we see a few shakeups and close calls, but things are still largely positive, and people are still gambling on the markets. But over time, the voice of reason is getting louder, and investor uncertainty is increasing, which brings us to October 24th, 1929. Black Thursday, as it's called, the theorized start of the Great Depression. Investors have been royally spooked, with headlines reading,
"Prices of stocks crash in heavy liquidation."
And when markets open, they start to sell. And I mean sell. 12.9 million shares to be exact. A new record. And at opening bell, things fall 11%. People are selling so much that price tickers can't keep up with the volume. So people don't even know what their selling price is. And all of this selling is dragging the stock market down, erasing large chunks of America's wealth. Wow. And things are about to get worse. While markets recover later that day, come Black Tuesday, it's an outright panic. The Dow Jones falls 12%, and that record we set last Thursday, yeah, we just broke it again. The markets lose $14 billion in one day. Some shares are now worthless, people have lost their life savings, and Americans who borrow to invest are absolutely crushed. And so, friends, here we are. The Great Depression, the worst economic downturn in the history of the industrialized world. The Dow Jones falls for another 3 years.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, it's 1 billion or whatever the number was in one day. I can't even fathom that. What, 14 billion, sorry, in one day. Ay, ay, ay. That is scary money. So you're telling me all that money that people had invested plummets. It's plummeting so much that people don't even know the price that they're selling it at. Obviously, I did a little bit of like this economical stuff in college, so I'm a little bit familiar with a lot of these terms he's talking about here, and even just be trying to conceptualize and what's that's doing on the stock market is insane. Oh, that's crazy. No wonder. Oh, that's
worst
bad.
Economic downturn in the history of the industrialized world. The Dow Jones falls for another 3 years after this, losing 90% of its value from its high in 1929.
Oh.
Many lose their jobs as companies shut down, and it's not just investors that are hit. Remember that money the banks borrowed? Yeah. Well, a bunch of it is lost in the markets too, and people are only getting back 10 cents for every dollar they had in their account. Banks across the country shut down, and unemployment reaches its highest level.
That is because banks be borrowing people's money to invest, right? So it's like the money that you have in the bank, they actually don't. From what I know, I could be wrong. I need to get more financially. So I might go down another rabbit hole where I start learning more about finance and all this stuff. And you guys are gonna come along with me if you want me to go there. But in terms of like, banks are borrowing their money, and now when a bunch of them are asking for it back, they don't have the actual money in the bank to give you, right? It's like they're just giving you 10 cents. That's insane. So all that money that you have, you could see like £10,000 in there. You can't even access that. Like in reality, there's not even £10,000 of your money in there accessible, and that's insane. And don't banks still do that to this day? No, ain't that the whole how they work? Because if everyone wants to take their money out now, it's looking like you wouldn't be able to get your money back like that. I swear.
Many lose their jobs as companies shut down, and it's not just investors that are hit. Remember that money the banks borrowed? Well, a bunch of it is lost in the markets too, and people are only getting back 10 cents for every dollar they had in their account. Banks across the country shut down, and unemployment reaches its highest level in U.S. history, 24.9%. By this point, breadlines,
On
soup
him.
kitchens, and homelessness are common sights. Whether you invested, borrowed money, or even just held money in a bank account, the Depression found a way to hurt you financially. Times would be tough throughout the 1930s, and fiscal intervention from Franklin D. Roosevelt would do little to boost activity. In fact, it wouldn't be until the rise of the Third Reich in Germany that we would see an end to the crisis. You see, the Great Depression wasn't just felt in America. Rather, with recent globalization, its effects were felt around the world. And in the darkness, we saw the rise of Hitler, who used the despair of the German people as a rallying call, ultimately leading to the creation of the Nazi Party and the start of the Second World War in 1939. The war created jobs in America.
I didn't even realize how tied these things are interlinked, because you got World War One, economy's getting back together, everyone's getting overzealous. Great Depression comes in, and then rise of World War II. Like, the timeline is making more sense now. And you can imagine now a lot of people who are vulnerable in very heightened emotion states. What tends to happen from what I've seen is people tend to go to the most extreme ideologies, because they tend to be the most what's the word? Like, it's just like the most forward manifestation of change, right? You know, and it's attractive in moments like that, and we all know how infamous Hitler is. So judging by this is a lot of the context that went into it, it's interesting. I feel like this timeline is making more sense, and I need to do more on World War II.
Nazi Party and the start of the Second World War in 1939. The war created jobs in America, ironically ending one tragedy with the start of another. Experts can't agree on why the Great Depression was as bad as it was, but there were valuable takeaways from the hardship. It demonstrated just how powerful the greed and alternatively the fear of the markets can be when they get out of control, while demonstrating the destructive potential of speculation and debt. Laws would later be introduced to safeguard financial institutions and deposits, and during his time in office, Franklin D. Roosevelt would introduce the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and the Securities Exchange Commission, institutions targeted at protecting the wealth of Americans that still exist to this day. Few are left who remember the hardships of the Depression, but we'd be foolish to forget the lessons it provided. After all, fear, greed, and speculation are far from dead. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon if you want notifications about future videos we post. We also have
Shout out to Playing Bagel. Look, go check out their stuff, their Patreon, Facebook, Twitter's links on there. Support their channel. Look, 3.3 million views, no feet. And it seemed as if that was a somewhat accurate representation of it in 5 minutes. Look, you guys let me know if that was a good introduction to the 5-minute history. Now, I also want to know as well, because a lot of people watching, you guys watching, may have some contextual clues or things that you personal experiences. Now you could comment down below and let me know like just how real a lot of the things he might have been saying was, whether you had parents that were really affected by this, whether you were a child during this time. I think a lot of you probably would have been children during this time. I mean, well, you got 70 plus 24, you would have been, if you was born around 930, you'd be 94 now. So let alone your parents probably would have been the ones more so. But even then, let's say you're born, even if you're 10 during this time, yeah, some of you guys may even be affected by this who are watching now. So let me know what you think. A lot of you guys be saying as well that you think this might be another cycle. I've heard story that we might enter another one of these kind of economic crises like by 2030, 2025. Look, I'll be hearing a lot on the internet, but look, I love when you guys comment down below and also share your opinions, and it also helps me ground my own thoughts and see what you guys have to say about what I have to say. But guys, look, comment on a blue heart if you made this point, or a green heart actually for money. Right, and also let me know who my real ones are, guys. Look, as you can see, road to 40k. Subscribe, guys. A lot of you guys watch me, don't subscribe, and like the video if you haven't already, guys. If you enjoyed it and you made this point, and guys, with that being said, I'm your boy JayFlex. It's been a great Depression 5-minute history lesson. And for those of you guys who made this point, you guys have been absolutely wonderful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.